Hey! Oh my god, I've got people here. Hey everyone, how's it all going? Welcome to my first official live on live stream. Today we are going to be, as you probably saw from the chat below, or the picture on the heading, I'm here to talk about Jonbenet Ramsey, and I'm hoping that I will be joined by Amanda Vidas. Hello, True Crime Aussie Lover, Brandy and Pete. How are you three so far? Oh, this is so cool. Sorry, I'm new to all this StreamYard stuff. So, yes, we are going to be, like I said, talking about Jonbenet Ramsey, the 6-year-old girl that was murdered on Christmas evening, or we're not actually, well, for me, I'm not actually sure when she was killed because it says that she was found on Boxing Day, which is the 26th of December. But then on her grave, it says the 25th of December because, according to John Ramsey, that was her favourite time of year. Now, I don't know about all of you, but I'm pretty sure that I would not be able to hear, what do you call it? Be able to put someone's favourite time of year on their gravestone. Sorry, but I am pretty sure I wouldn't be able to. Okay, give me a sec. Please give me a sec. Oh, man. I'll be right back, peoples. Okay, all good? All right, I'll continue. Okay. Yes, so, yeah, it's very, very strange that, like I said, and the fact that when they found the ransom, 118,000, which just happened to coincide with, you know, of that year, apparently, and how there was no sign of forced entry, which makes people believe that it must have been an inside job, meaning that the parents must have done it or Burke must have done it. I have my theories, but I'll wait for my special guest to appear before I mention my theories on the case, so to speak. Can everybody in chat hear me out of curiosity?
I hear you.
Hey, how's it going? Everybody, welcome Amanda Vida. Okay, so what's going on with my chat that you're very quiet, so I can't quite hear you.
Okay, just give me a second. I was trying to get
So
situated.
I don't know what's going on.
Can you hear me now?
Hang on, sorry. Huh? Yeah. I can't hear Amanda at all, Dale. So I don't know what's going on. Actually, I don't have headphones, but that's never stopped any of this before.
Can you hear me now?
Sorry? Very, very
now?
vaguely. Yeah, I can hear you. You're just very, very.
Let me drop off.
I might actually have to drop off and then come back myself. So, can you take over for a little bit for me? Oh no! Don't do that. Oh, not you, love. I was going to do it. Yes. So my special guest is Amanda Vidas. Everybody. I am on my phone, Van. Okay, so for those who didn't hear, I have Amanda Vidas joining me, which I am excited to the max about because we're going to hopefully both talk about Jonbenet Ramsey. If she can come back, that'd be awesome. And so, yeah, it's going to be actually good to be able to talk about something other than Chris Watts. And welcome back, Amanda.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you sound a bit clearer louder than you did before. That's for sure.
Awesome.
How you going?
It's going good. I almost forgot. I mean, I knew I was supposed to do this, but I didn't keep track of time. So I literally just got out of taking a shower and giving the kids a bath, and then I was like, "What time is it?" And it was 10:33. So I am so sorry I'm late.
It's all good. Okay, can you talk for a minute? Because I'm going to try and do what you just did, but I'm going to try and come back. Can you talk to the few that are in the chat, if that's okay, till I get back?
Sure.
You're a sweetheart. And feel free to imitate NK as much as you like, because I'd love to hear that as well sometime today.
Okay.
But no, I'm just going to pop out, but I'll be straight back in, okay?
All right. Sounds great.
All right, I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. So, hello everybody. How are you? I'm Amanda S. Vida, or Amanda's Vida, whatever you want to call me. Some people just call me Amanda S. But Tammie had asked me to come on, and I think we were initially going to do Watts. And then there was one night I was in a chat, and she said, "Hey, I see you're in this chat, and you're talking about Jonbenet. I think I think she mentioned Jonbenet exactly. She's like, "Do you want to come up and talk Jonbenet with me?" And this was last week, so I told her, "Yes, I am swamped this week," which I was last week. I was super swamped. And I told her, let's do it on Saturday. So we're back. We're at Saturday. It came so fast, but luckily, I know this story really well, and I can spit it out and get some info out there in about 20 minutes. So let's do this. I don't know how old many of you are, but in 1996, I was 9 years old, and I worked. I semi worked at my mom's office, and she had a secretary that was really young, and she was hip, and she kept up on all the news. And on December 27th, because I remember it had only been maybe a day or two, she came in and she said, "Oh my God, did you hear? The princess is dead." And we're like, "What?" Like, what are you talking about? Even as a little kid, I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "The princess, the princess of Christmas, the princess of America, she's dead." And we're like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "The beauty queen." And then at some point, I knew who she was talking about because it was everywhere. Everybody was talking about Jonbenet, and everybody was talking about how she had essentially been kidnapped and then found dead in their basement. And I say
Mm.
essentially kidnapped because they did make it sound like she had been taken from her house, kidnapped, and then killed, and then maybe put back into the basement. They did try to make that detachment, or at least that's how I interpreted it as a young kid. Because I was like, oh my God, somebody kidnapped her, and then and then she was found in her basement. I didn't make the connection as a kid until I was a little as a kid, obviously, that they were trying to separate that whole thing from us. If you think about it, if somebody is found in your home dead, you don't say they were kidnapped. Even if they were
Exactly.
taken from their bedroom, I don't think you say kidnapped. I think you say someone broke into our house and they killed our daughter, even with a ransom note. But the thing is that when Patsy read the ransom note, it would have been on the first page. So she said that into the 911 call, so it was it was translated that way, and that's kind of how it came across. She was kidnapped, and then later on we find out it was an intruder, and then it all went down in the home with use of things in the home. So they say that Jonbenet had a ligature around her neck that was used in a tourniquet style, which is a tactic where you put a stick into a rope and twist it until it becomes somewhat of a, I guess I would say, like a garrote. I don't know, but they twist it until it chokes you out, and then you could let it go. The stick that was used belonged to Patsy. It was her paintbrush from her paint room. The rope that was used was from a paper bag in Patsy's craft room, and the ligature itself, the one that wrapped onto the stick, was in a sailor's fashion. I believe it was the one wrapped around the stick or the one on her wrist, but it was in a sailor knot fashion. And her dad was military, so that kind of makes you think maybe if somebody in the home has somewhat of expertise, that they would have used it there without even thinking someone could trace this back to me. Because in retrospect, it's an unusual knot. It's not something that everybody knows how to make. So,
Also, they sorry to cut you off. I'm back. Hello. they also they also said as well that it could have led to Burke in the Scouts. At one
oh, I
stage,
didn't
I
think of
heard
that
that.
one.
Yeah,
I didn't really
it's
think
just
about that one. Yeah.
Oh,
Good
woohoo, I
call.
told you something that you didn't know. That is
I
so
didn't.
cool.
And actually that makes me think that puts into perspective the because a garrote is an unusual item to use to kill someone. I mean,
Yeah,
it's almost
exactly.
torturous.
Yeah, because they said that the strangulation, I think, sorry to get you off the track what you're talking about. You're doing great, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. She, oh, who was it? What was I going to say? Yeah, do you have intruder going through your head thinking it could have been that, or do you think it was an inside job?
I absolutely think it's an inside job. I think the Burke stuff
Yeah.
is interesting, but I spent years reading that ransom note. I kept actually they were my sister's criminology books. My sister was a criminology major, and
Oh,
I've
cool.
just always been into true crime. And she kept her criminology books in our bathroom. And even after I didn't live with her anymore, I had that basket that you carry around from bathroom to bathroom, and it had books in it. And in there, I
Yep.
had a book, and it had the ransom note printed out in it. And
Oh, wicked.
I would read it all the time, just the ransom note, literally like page by page by page, kind of like a shampoo bottle. And so I I interpreted it, read it, and I find that the terminology is definitely something that Patsy would have used. She definitely tried to use her vocabulary. She was a very
Yeah,
smart woman and she was trying to be articulate all the time. It translated
yeah,
into that note whether or not she was trying to make it sound like her. The word
exactly.
attache, make sure you have an adequate attache case. That was that was crazy. I
Yeah.
guess a few lines from the note themselves reference movies that were made in that time that both John and Patsy liked, and not just liked. I guess one of them even was like a poster board, one or two. I want to
Mhm.
say one just because I don't want to pretend, but I do know for a
Yeah.
fact there was one that was used as a poster board down in the basement.
Yeah, I think that was the movie with Mel Gibson, and I think that was the Ransom
The Ransom
movie.
movie, which
Yeah,
is a great movie, by the way. It's so sad.
I do agree. Kudos to Mel Gibson in that. He actually looked quite handsome in that.
Oh my god, he was gorgeous.
And, oh, okay. So then I can, yeah, I agree. But I just wanted to think I was weird. But
Oh, don't worry
we
about
could
it.
be the Mel Gibson thrivers.
I'm not even one of those people that likes serial killers or murderers, but I called Joran Vandersloot cute last night on Unmasked at the very end. And if I could go back and delete that out for life, I would, but it just slipped out. I was like, he's so cute. But he was
Oh,
very attractive. Do you know
well,
who I'm
I
speaking
thought
of?
Chris Watts was cute at one stage. So it's like,
Yeah. I mean, we're
and
only human.
then my mum goes, but he killed people, and I'm like, yeah, okay, so he's
I
not
really didn't
cute.
like Chris. I'm not into the whole like older man thing, and he looked older to me. I don't care if he's 30. He had mad receding hairline. And I thought to me
Well,
he looked like I don't know, he just wasn't my type.
well, I thought he was cute because I liked his smile. Well, put it to you that way because I'm 38, so by liking him, I'm a cradle snatcher. But
One thing I
it
wanted to
comes down
say
to
one thing
yes.
I wanted to say is that I wasn't trying to segue this away from Jonbenet
Oh
Ramsey.
no,
No, but
kind of.
I brought it up because even though I said that yesterday, John Vandersloot kind of finds his way into this case because I'm not sure if a lot of people know that after Patsy Ramsey died, more so recently, like in the last 10 years, John Ramsey and Natalie Holloway's mom actually had I think, I'm not sure if they got married, but they were together for a while.
Yeah, they were. They were married. Oh no, I don't know if they were married, but I know that they were together for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
He's married to someone else now. I don't know her name, which is really bad. I should have done research
That
on
would be
this.
like his fourth wife now.
Yeah, because it's like, but the thing is that I wouldn't want to marry a person who mysteriously, his daughter is on her way to a family reunion, as I've been told, and then she dies in a car accident. And then his daughter's getting to the age where she's very outspoken about what she wants and all of that sort of stuff. And then mysteriously she dies. And it's
Do you
like,
think his first daughter's death is mysterious? I had never actually even put that into perspective.
oh, I did because it's like you look, okay, this is how I see it. When I see pictures of John Ramsey with his first daughter, like his oldest daughter that died in the car accident, I look at photos of them together and I get this really uncomfortable feeling about
Really?
their relationship. And it's weird because it's like, I don't get that when I see him in pictures with, say, Burke and Patsy. It's only when it's with Jonbenet and his oldest daughter, which I don't remember her name.
Interesting. I actually don't remember her name either, and I used to know it, but I don't remember it now. It's really not important. His previous daughter who passed, I honestly don't think it had anything to do with him for some reason, because they were going to a family reunion. I remembered them not being near each other when it happened. And
Yeah.
that's kind of the same story with his son. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know that the suitcase that was in, I'm not going to tell the whole story. We all kind of know what happened. But if you need the rundown, this family woke up one day, there was a ransom note on their stairs. But later on, when the police were there, everybody was there. They found the little girl in the basement. She had never left the house, and she had been
Mm,
essentially tortured and killed in her basement. And
exactly.
there's never been
Exactly.
anybody found. There's almost no signs of an intruder, even though there was a way for an intruder to get in. They almost make it seem as if it would have made a much more of a mess if they had come in and gone out that way. So they kind of don't think that there really was an intruder. Some people believe there was, whatever, I don't care. But I think that it happened in the house, so I'm going to tell that story. um, so in the basement, next to the room that she was in, was the room with the window, the one where they
Yeah.
believed that somebody had come in. Now, they said there was a broken window, and then later on, John said, I broke that window. I had to get into the house one day when it was locked up, and I broke it. So fine, that was already done. But there is a suitcase under the window, and they think, if somebody, an intruder, were to come in or out, they probably would have used that suitcase to step on it. Inside of that suitcase was a children's book and a blanket covered in semen. And the semen belonged to John's oldest son.
Exactly.
And that, to me, that is creepy. Just creepy. I mean, he didn't live there, but we have to remember that John owned planes. They were on their way to a family reunion, yet again, and they were going to meet up and go hang out. I believe they were going to fly out to maybe Atlanta to their other home, and he canceled that flight in front of the cops. He called the pilot, and he was like, "Yeah, we can't fly out right now. Whatever." Um, but either way, what
I
I'm
thought
trying,
that, sorry, I thought that he actually, sorry to cut you off, but I thought he was actually, was this John on the day after Christmas?
the day,
But,
this is the day that she was found, which would have been Christmas Day, correct? Or no, it was the day after
she was,
Christmas. You're right. You're right. You're right.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, but I thought that he was ringing up to arrange a flight to leave, um,
So
I want to say Denver.
they were they were going to leave. I'm sorry. He did arrange a flight for them to leave, but it was because they were supposed to have left early in the morning. That's why Patsy had
Yeah,
gotten up in her nighttime outfit, because she didn't change her outfit from the party the night before. I mean, who sleeps in a wool jacket? But um,
exactly.
she had. That's why she had woken up early. They were all going to get together and fly to meet his other children, which I think he has two other sons, right?
Yeah, Patsy only had Burke and John Bonet, and John had the two older sons. And I just want to address something quickly. Irvin, NK is not beautiful at all,
He's just trying to make you
regardless of what.
mad.
I know he wrote that down further. It's not making me mad. It's actually just making me laugh, thinking he's going to try and make me mad. Good luck. And also, I am not making cake, Dave G. So bad luck.
so
Sorry.
so this thing about the basement blanket and book, it makes me go down my own rabbit hole of, if this guy had a plane and something happened to his daughter and they're trying to cover it up, which by all means I think it's a cover up, whether they did it or their kids did it. He could have
Mm,
had his son flown out. If his son did something, he could have been like, you get
exactly.
the F out of here and fly away.
Exactly. And you know how they did that CBS special about enhancing the phone call when Patsy made it? And
Yes.
they're saying that they could hear Burke in the background saying, "What did you find?"
I can hear a voice, but I'm not sure if it's Burke. And I've listened to it a lot, and I want to believe it's him, but
You
I don't
know.
think it's him. I don't know. I don't think so.
But what I hear is I hit her from behind. I
Oh,
don't hit because I don't because that's what's weird. Like I hear and see things that some people say don't. And if I'm listening to it, I'm thinking he's not saying, or whoever is saying it, they're not saying, "Oh, what did you find?" They're saying, "I hit her from behind." And if you listen back over it and then repeat that, but the thing is that pisses me off though, is that when they did that, let's say Burke is innocent. Okay, I've never heard John's two older kids talk as his two older sons, so I don't know what they sound like. So you think about, if, like, I'm not being disrespectful, I don't know how old you are, but I'm 38, and when I cry, mind you, it is like a real ugly Britney Spears kind of cry. I honestly sound younger than I am. So that's what I'm thinking, and the fact that when they went and checked the basement, let's say the intruder left through the basement and went back through the window and everything like that. Let's say he did that. How did the door become locked?
Right at the very
With the
top.
latch across the top. And that is
Right.
something that's similar with the Chris Watts case, but we won't go into that one. But it's just that they didn't go into a door because it was locked.
That is true.
You know what I
And
mean? And it's just like,
and
well, what the
and a lot of people want to say, okay, they say there was no snow tracks, but there was no snow. It was a little bit of gravel or mulch under the window. But okay, let's just say that there isn't footprints. What about the window was broken, so there was glass already there. There was a cobweb in the corner of the window. And if you're going to crawl through a small window with hips maybe 30 inches wide, you're going to hit that cobweb.
Exactly. Hi, Seeking the Truth with Dave. Thank you. Sorry, he's just popped in and said hi to us. Sorry.
No.
But yeah, I just.
Hey, Dave. Why aren't you telling us we're rock stars?
Yeah, tell us that we're awesome.
He did have an older daughter, Lisa. She had passed away in a car accident, as Tammie was saying earlier, that she found that a bit suspicious, which I'm sure has crossed my mind, but I never actually looked into it. I guess that's a rabbit hole I can deep dive into one day. But
you're always welcome on here to talk about Jonbenet as much as you like if you want a platform.
One thing I found interesting about the Burke stuff was what has come out afterwards. That the housekeeper had said that Burke would essentially ruin Jonbenet's things in her room by smearing feces on it. And in the crime scene, they actually found fecal matter on some of her Christmas gifts. So this had actually occurred right after Christmas. He had gotten his fecal matter on her Christmas gifts.
And didn't they say there was a lump of... Okay, you're going to be polite and use the word feces. I'm going to use the word shit because I think it's, in case people don't know what you mean. But didn't he say that, yeah, you can feel free to swear on my channel too. I don't really mind. I got no rules on this channel apart from if you say that NK is beautiful. It's a rule that I choose to ignore. But no, I think that they said that he also took a dump in the middle of her bed.
Oh.
And I don't know if that's fact or fiction, but it's just like, if he did that, that is disgusting.
Well, she had two beds. She had two beds in her room, so it could have very well been on the second bed, right?
Exactly, yeah, because they focused on, from the crime scene photos that I've personally seen, it's when the bed's in the same frame, when it's a picture taken like
up against the wall
back.
Yeah.
But then when they get close, they only take a picture of one of the beds, and it's just, you want to commit a crime, move to Colorado.
It's a very vague crime scene. And not just that, the family essentially has gotten themselves off on something that a DA has said. She said this family wasn't implicated in the crime. We are not looking at them as suspects, so on and so forth. And in hindsight, it was essentially a kiss-ass move from her that wasn't necessarily the consensus all around. And by her doing that, she essentially ruined the case.
Who did? Oh, I meant Linda Arndt, or sorry, Patsy. So I was just reading a compliment from Dave, and I actually got sidetracked. Sorry. Who was what you said? Damage the
So
sorry.
Eventually, because Patsy and her husband were looked into, and then eventually they were quote unquote cleared. Right? We all heard they were cleared. They were cleared of the murder. They were clear of everything. We should leave them alone. Let this family alone. Whatever. Now that we look back on it, and that there's been studies done and people have come out, that what she did was unorthodox. It was not true. And essentially she was just kissing their ass and saying that. And it wasn't true, but it put out something out into the world saying, hey, this case is is over. Don't look into this family anymore. But in reality, it's an open case. It's never
an
been
open case
solved.
until someone, exactly, that's what I was going to say, until someone is arrested or someone's,
How are you going to tell
it's
people
not going
don't
to be
look
solved.
into it anymore? I mean, you should always say, I mean, let's look into them. And then she's saying they're cleared when clearly they're not cleared because the handwriting expert was adamant enough that the investigators tried to investigate Patsy on her handwriting analysis. And
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
it's
The
dead
fact she didn't
on.
even, sorry, and the fact that she didn't recognize her own handwriting. Sorry, I sometimes screw up my words.
Oh,
And the fact that with her own handwriting
don't even get
inside
me
the
started.
photo albums, do you recognize this writing, Mrs. Ramsey? Nah,
Not particularly.
no, exactly. And it's I've got to get you on here for a day to just do imitations of people. I think it's great. And the fact that when she goes, because over here, I don't know in America what show would have done the interview, but when she was saying, I did not kill my daughter, and all this on a show over here called 60 Minutes, and when she goes,
She said,
I
I
did not
love
kill
that
my
heart.
daughter.
She said, I love that baby with the hole in my heart.
Yes. And I'm just like,
She said, I loved her
yeah,
with a
well,
hole in my heart. With the hole in
yes.
my heart.
And then she has the audacity to go, if I did kill my daughter, may God strike me down where I stand.
And then I got
And I,
cancer and died.
exactly. And it was like, I'm not laughing. I feel sorry for the fact she died.
I
But
didn't
the
laugh.
fact that when she goes, may God strike me down where I stand, I'm like, if only just a massive bolt of lightning came through the ceiling at that particular moment, that would have
Okay.
been like epic TV. That would have been bigger than the moon landing, I reckon.
All right. You guys really do appreciate my sleuthing. And I didn't even know it was a big thing until I started actually talking. Like, Amber Truth Seeker told me, you should make small videos of these small little things you know. I was like, I didn't even know there were things I knew that nobody else knew. I assumed everyone else knew. But there is one in this case that I think not a lot of people know. And as I was talking, I forgot what I was going to say.
Mm.
Oh, I remember. um, Patsy Ramsey had purchased very expensive basic underwear for her niece for Christmas. And they were
Yep.
from, I believe, Nordstrom or something like that. And even though they were very expensive, I guess her family had issues with her gift giving, but that's a whole other story. But I guess she would like re-gift or not give expensive gifts or give dumb gifts like underwear. This is the
Yeah,
same. This is the same underwear, the same oversized underwear that Jonbenet was wearing when she was found. Now, if you're about to go see your family and you have gifts for your family, why is your daughter wearing the underwear that you bought as a gift for somebody else?
exactly right.
I'm not saying that's neither here nor there. I just thought that was a very odd thing, especially when they're saying, you know, we dressed her. This is the last stuff we dressed her in. She was never taken from the house. I feel like something was done very quickly to dress her. And then that was just the nearest thing. I don't know. I really don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know why that happened. They were wealthy. They had a very well organized home. They had a maid that did their laundry. Their underwear should have been at hand, but maybe she was downstairs already.
exactly. Now, what I'm also with when it comes to the DNA, I think that the fact they couldn't find a DNA match, in my opinion, is because I think that it was like oh God, I can't construct a
You think
sentence
it's
today.
manufacturer? It's a manufacturer's. It came from the manufacturer, correct? That's what you believe. That's what I do.
I don't believe that.
Oh,
Okay, so this is my theory. I think that the blood that was found in, as they call them, since good old 50 Shades of Grey came out, panties, but I will call them underwear because it'll be different. The DNA that was found in her underwear did not match anyone in the Ramsey family. That's what I've heard. Now, the thing is, though, that the blonde dude who actually killed himself shortly after the death of Jonbenet, I believe in my mind that that was Jonbenet's dad. And I think that the reason that it didn't match and all that sort of stuff is because somehow, some way, John killed him along with yeah, what do you
that's a
call
very
it? John
interesting
killed
theory.
him because you think about it, if he takes his blood and then mixes it with a bit of his blood or something like that, there's never going to be a positive identification on that blood source because there'll be two
Now, I'm going
sources
to
of
tell you
blood in
this.
that.
I'm going to tell you this right
Mm-hmm.
now. if it was blood, you have yet told me something else I didn't know. I was under the impression that that the sample obtained was some type of biological evidence, but untold what kind of biological evidence. But this is just from memory. I've
Oh,
actually never gone in to study this case. This is just from over the years reading everything about it. I've never gone back like I do Watson stuff and like read Discovery and everything. But
yeah.
that's what I recall that it was.
No, that's cool. No, I just thought that there was blood found in there and stuff like that. But what do you think of the theory that she was sexually abused?
I believe it.
So, yeah.
Now,
Do
whether
you
it
think?
was her family members, I don't know because children can be abused by anybody. But
Hmm.
I do think that I do think that it's odd,
Yeah.
especially with what I'm saying about the older brother. That we never really hear about him. That's
No.
just where I'm at.
Where
Can we talk
I
about the
love how
pineapples?
people read the book. Sorry.
Can we talk about the pineapples?
Yeah. Talk about whatever you want about the case.
All right.
I'm letting
I
you know
actually
now. The show's basically yours to talk about whatever you want.
I was going to tell you I have about 10 more minutes because I kind of have to make food right now, and it's 11 o'clock my time. But it's because
Oh,
I pulled out meat earlier in the day, and then I actually took a really long nap, and I just don't want it to go bad. So I'm gonna try to make dinner before I go to bed. But I will,
all good.
I'm gonna go dedicate to you a really good 10 minutes right now.
Yeah. Thank you, though. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem. So the pineapple thing. So basically what happened is this little girl was kidnapped from her bed, quote unquote kidnapped, taken downstairs and killed in her home. And she had been out at a party before she had gone home. So by all intents and purposes, she hadn't eaten anything at home. And when you eat
Yeah.
something, you digest it, and it can either be found in your stomach or your bowel. But normally when someone is killed, they can tell somewhat of their time of death by what is the contents of their stomach. So Jonbenet had gone to a party, and this is the night where she met Santa Claus, and he drew a heart in her hand or whatever. And she met Santa Claus, and then they come home. She was asleep. Her parents took her upstairs, changed her into her pajamas, which I think is odd. When I have children, if they fall asleep in their clothes, well, it sucks. But you put them in bed in their clothes. You don't change their clothes for fear of waking them up. So
Exactly.
so they put her in her bed, they change her clothes, and they put her to bed. When they find out she's kidnapped, their story is that she fell asleep, they brought her home, whatever. In her autopsy report, she has pineapple in her tummy. Now, one thing that they found in the home was a bowl of pineapple in the kitchen. Luckily, they have a picture of it because one of the 30 people in the home that day, I'm being facetious, I don't know how many people were in there, but one of the hundreds of people that were in the home that day cleaned the kitchen.
Exactly.
So while all of this was going on, there was literally a cleanup being done with the police department in the home. I mean, they probably helped. You want me to take the trash out? Like, and so essentially, they before the little girl is ever found, they take pictures of some things, I believe, and they had that picture of the bowl of pineapple with milk. Now, this bowl is a small bowl. It has a glass next to it, like somebody was eating there, and it has one huge spoon. And then milk and pineapple, which they now know is Burke's favorite dessert. He says this in his own weird interview as a kid, and that he was eating it, and that it's just he doesn't say he was eating it. He actually kind of doesn't even want to talk about it, but he says it's one of his meals, and that his mom often cuts fruit for them, so on and so forth. But there's contents of pineapple in her tummy. There's a bowl of fruit downstairs, and it's her brother's favorite sampling of fruit. And supposedly she was supposed to have been asleep. How does she get fruit into her tummy without having been downstairs while they were? I mean, unless she walked down, ate some, and went back up to bed, which kids do. I've found snacks in my kids' room, but um, she must have been awake at some point after she got home, and she died.
Yeah.
Why they don't know
Exactly.
about this is weird. I mean, her parents did sleep at the very top landing of the home. The home was separated by stairs, and their bedroom was actually separated from the rest of the house by stairs. So they could have maybe not heard it, but why did this little girl have food in her tummy? Why didn't her parents know? That I find odd. One other thing is when she was lost in the home, essentially, while they're all upstairs, the police asked them, let's look around, let's canvass the home. And John kind of says, we already did. And they're like, well, let's start again. And he says, okay. She says, start upstairs. And he says, let's go. And he grabs his best friend and they head down to the basement. And within seconds, he unlatches the door and finds his daughter in there. I'm sorry.
Mm.
He unlatches the door to see the basement, and then he sees his daughter in there. He runs up to her, and like any good dad would, I'm not judging him by anything that's gone on afterwards, in case he had nothing to do with it, because I don't know. But he takes the ligatures off of her hands, and he takes the tape off her mouth, and he takes her upstairs. He lays her down under the Christmas tree, and her mother hovers over her, and starts weeping. I believe prior to her mom hovering over her and weeping, he is when he checked to see if she was dead. He and the officer tells a very detailed story about this, that she felt that she was in danger in that moment when they found out the baby was dead. She said that she reached back
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
grabbed her gun
And
when she
silently counted how many bullets she had in her
and right.
magazine
She
thing.
said she didn't know what was going to happen in that home now that they knew the little girl was dead. And that's, I feel, a very weird feeling. She has, I forgot who said it. I believe it was Jen Lee. She said she has big eyes, but I believe her.
Her eyes scare the crap out of me. It's like she's got someone constantly smacking her in the back of the head. She's like, okay, I'm awake.
One of the
Kind of
videos that's
thing.
on YouTube, one of the more popular ones, the thumbnail is her crazy eyes. It's just, it looks
Yeah,
at
and I'm
you.
just like, I feel like saying, did you get your eyelashes cut off and that's why you can't blink? Like, love, blink. And then when she does, they open even wider when she opens them back up. I'm like, shit. But okay, I was going to say one thing as well, is that because I've watched the Perfect Murder, Perfect Town, or Perfect Town, Perfect Murder. I don't remember which order it goes in. I've watched it and I've read the book, and they were saying about how that when Patsy was sitting on the couch after Jonbenet had been found, she was crying, but then she was looking through her fingers at the detectives to see if they were watching her. And I'm just like, why would you do that? Do you need to convince them that you were crying? And to do what she did with Jonbenet afterwards, it's just a bit weird as well.
How about this? I think one of the
Mm-hmm.
weird things that John did was he checked his mail.
Yes, like what were you looking for, dude? Like,
And I mean, they're saying that maybe he was looking for something in the mail that came with the ransom note, but these are the same people who forgot to wait for the time when the killers were supposed to call.
exactly, and no one said anything. And then you got to ask yourself because they all went supposedly to bed at 10 o'clock that night. When they got home, they all went to bed. Here's the thing, though: first of all, how did the ransom writer know that John and Patsy would go down that particular flight of stairs?
Exactly. Very
How
good
did they
point.
know that? And then you got to ask yourself, because they're all waiting around and all that sort of stuff they said we will call between, I think it was between 8 and 10 a.m.
Well,
tomorrow.
check this out.
So,
Check this out.
yep.
One of the things
Mhm.
that I find very weird is that it could be anybody, right? It could be anybody.
Exactly.
They could be in danger from what I believe there was a homeless community nearby that they were very scared of, like right down the street from the home. And they should have been scared of anything. But when they asked Burke how he felt, he said he didn't feel scared. He was fine. His parents didn't make him feel like there was anybody out there willing to kill. Now, at the same time, they had let the entire community into their home. They had a walkthrough a few days before of the home
Exactly.
for her Christmas showing. So I believe she had like something like 7 or 8 Christmas trees in the home. And
She had a Christmas tree in every room of the house. Like,
that's all
really,
on her.
Patsy?
She could do that. But I thought it was if they were going to do something and it was pre-planned, that was very smart, because let's just get everybody's DNA up in here.
Exactly. But what I also find interesting, and this might make me look, but so be it. With that, okay, when John Mark Carr came forward, it was around the time when Patsy was dying.
Correct.
Now, I'm starting to think that he was hired by John Ramsey and Patsy. Maybe, hear me out before this sounds really dumb. Sorry, I don't even sound hear me out like I'm telling you what to do. I think that he was hired by John and Patsy, so then that way that was a decoy to get them off John and Patsy while Patsy was in the final stages of life.
Maybe.
Like
Who
that.
knows? I didn't believe it. I mean, from what I remember, it was we were all very skeptical about it from the jump. And then he was cleared, shortly after he was extradited, I believe, but because they found out where he actually was. I thought that was just somebody being very smart and trying to get out of Thailand.
Yeah, well, that's true too. But it's just a bit odd because I think he came out as he was cleared of all charges shortly after Patsy died. But yeah, Patsy was still alive at the time, and I think by having him more, how bad would it be if he says, "Oh, I did it," and all along he's like, "Oh, I've got got $50,000 waiting for me at the end of this because I'm going to say this so the press will leave the Ramseys alone while Patsy's, like I said, in the final stages." And I think that's what they did because you think about it at the time when John Mark Carr was in custody, the Ramseys weren't even a factor. The
Right. Because they've
second
been
he's
cleared.
cleared, yeah, then he's cleared, and they go straight back thinking it was the Ramseys. So I
Now
think
before I
personally
let
it was just a ploy.
now before I let you go, I'm going to finish off the story
Yeah,
just so nobody says
go for it. Sorry,
we didn't get through it.
that's cool.
I
Go
hate
for
that
it.
comment at the end, like, I didn't follow. Well, okay, there's a picture of a little girl in the thumbnail, and she's dead now. What do you think happened? um, so
Exactly.
this
She's
little girl
not
was 6 years
here.
old. This little girl was 6 years old. She was a beauty queen. She had won the year's beauty queen contest days before. She was flaunted around as a pageant girl. Looked great. It looked like she had good mentors. Her mom had been a beauty queen beforehand. Now, this little girl was then essentially, quote unquote, kidnapped from her bedroom, but killed within her home and found in her basement. While she was missing, they believe that there was a kidnapper who was asking for a ransom of $118,000, which so happened to be the same exact amount her dad was going to receive as a Christmas bonus from his company. That is very weird. But we don't know who wrote the note because no one was um, guilty of writing it or found guilty of writing it. But we believe that it had something to do with the mom. There was a lot of anecdotes in there that she used some of the same writing forms. Like she used the word X hyphen miss on the note, and then I'm sorry, it was in the note, and then that's what she would use in her Christmas pictures. Also,
And the word
um,
hence.
and then the ligatures that the little girl had on her body were from within the home. So the items used to kill her were found from within the home, as well as the handwritten note that takes 27 minutes to write out by an investigator just looking at it word for word.
Exactly.
So somebody was in the home for long enough time to scour the home for items, write this note, kidnap this little girl, take her to the basement, some maybe stun gun or injure her neck to where she has two small picarisms, I believe they would be, and in her neck, and then they killed her with the ligature after having her hands tied up. She was, I don't believe she was sexually assaulted, but they found signs of her having previous sexual assault, and um, she was wearing her clothes. They found her, and almost all of the biological evidence was then ruined essentially when her family took her under the tree, and everybody kind of just stood over her and watched her, and her mom laid on her, and some of the biological evidence that not the biological evidence, some of the physical evidence that they found on her was her mom's coat hair jacket coat hairs, but we can't say now whether it was because she was there when she died, because she had been wearing this jacket all night long, and it was the
Exactly
same
right.
jacket that she was wearing when she hovered over her body. Now, this same family was supposed to go on vacation that day, and they postponed their trip because they didn't want to, they postponed their trip because their little girl went missing. While their little girl was missing, the dad found it interesting to call his flight people and to make a flight for later on, even though the little girl had not been found, and to cancel the previous flight. It was his plane, so he really didn't have to do this. Um, but not just that, it was a private plane, so he didn't really have to do this. But not just that, they actually ended up leaving after they found Jonbenet.
Exactly.
Now,
It's
you could
absolutely
say maybe they didn't want to stay in the home because something had happened in there. That's fine. But who leaves the city, much more the state, after their daughter has
exactly.
just been murdered there? You are supposed to stay. You want to find this man. Where are you going? You do send your kid off somewhere, which they did. They sent their kids off. They sent Burke off to their friend's house. But
Well, that's nice of him.
they left the state immediately. And not only that, if you go back and listen, John said, when they said, why are you going to fly out today? He said, I want to get my family out of here and I have business. I thought you guys were about to go on vacation.
Exactly.
What kind of business do you have?
Especially over.
So, of course, this little girl was found dead, and it's been, don't make me do math, but like 27 years or something like that, and she's never been found.
I just find it all fucked up.
It is.
Because I just think that if it's ever going to be solved, or it was ever even close to being solved, I'm sorry, but I don't think it's ever going to be, because, like I said, I do believe that blonde dude who was seen with high-tech boots and everything like that, I think that was all planted there. The gunshot wound that was found on the side of his head didn't match the fact that on the side that he would actually put the gun on. He would have had to put his arm across his head to be able to put it in the side of the head that they claim. And I think that John set him up. The reason that John didn't match is because John's the one that sexually assaulted her,
maybe,
and killed her. So,
and their DNA was supposed to be all over her. She was their parents.
Exactly.
But Tammie, thank you so
yes.
much for having me up. I'm so sorry I was late, and I'm sorry I have to go, but I could actually hear my baby crying. No,
can you just do Nicole Kessinger quickly with one of her favorite quotes?
Well, you know what? I was listening to you talk about this guy right now. The other guy, I remember hearing about that. And I remember hearing that Burke also had high-tech boots, and they weren't that common. And I thought, well, why wouldn't they look into that deeper? But I just figured that they didn't know.
Thank you. You're awesome. Thank you so
Tammie.
much for your time. You're welcome up here anytime you want to discuss this. I'm going to be on here a bit longer.
Oh, I didn't know I didn't have a picture. I didn't know. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Amanda's Vida. She is absolutely incredible. I love that. Is there okay? I am so sorry that I wasn't planning on ignoring chat. I do apologize. That just I got so involved in it. So I will go back to the very beginning. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Mr. Archimedes. Hello, Irvin. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Jetta. Hello, Aussie True Crime Lover. Hello, Pate. Hello, Irvin. Don't ever say NK's cute in my chat again, Dove. Please, I'm begging you. Jetta from Texas, welcome. Van, who's behind the scenes helping me, making sure this live goes through. And I'm very fucking thankful to her, because I'll be lost without her. Archimedes girl, thank you for being here as well. Who have I? Seeking the Truth with Dave. I know you're probably out for dinner with Deb now, but thank you so much for popping into my live. It meant a lot to me. Thank you. Who have I forgotten? Oh, I'm a great Tammie is a true blue. Okay. Thank you. Welcome, and B. Who have I forgotten? Who have I forgotten? I want to make sure I don't forget anyone, because I feel really bad. Leah Bryson, welcome. Yeah, I think I said, yeah, and B, like I said, welcome. Yes, so I don't know exactly how many people are in my chat, but if there's anyone else who would like to pop up here, or peoples that would like to come up and join me on panel, please feel free to. If Van is cool with it, can you? Van will probably send the link in a little bit, but so I would like to be able to continue talking about my theories when it comes to the Jonbenet case. I believe that the family was interested in, or not interested, but involved in some way or another. I do believe that they were connected. So it comes down to that, if you have a theory on this, feel free to join me up here on panel, and it's the same rules that apply when I have the Chris Watts discussion. You can have any opinion you like, whether it's different from mine or whether it's the same as mine. It does not matter. Your opinion matters. Okay, and B, the book is called Cases That Haunt Us, by FBI agent profile John Douglas. Oh, okay. I might have to see if I can find that somehow, but I'd rather have it read to me, because I can't do that. I can't. I can read, obviously, but I don't want to try at the moment. by reading a big book. But no, I just, how can I put it? I find it very, very bizarre how, with what Amanda just pointed out, that they were planning to go interstate. You know, just yeah. I would like if someone else would join me up here because then I could bounce a few things off them. If you okay, I know that the title for today is open discussion about Jonbenet, but if you want to talk about something else, you can. But join me on panel to do so would be awesome. I would love to have someone else up here. So yeah, but I'll continue talking about mine. I think the fact, like I said, that when John Mark Carr came forward and said it was him, he came forward just around about the time when it was towards the end of Patsy's life, after he was cleared. Patsy had died, beforehand. So it's pretty sad. I don't know where Irvin is. Irvin! Irvin, where are you? Are you surfing, Mr. Irvin? Sorry. But yeah, I just find it very, very bizarre how a lot of things that with this case, it's like 20 plus years old, and yet there's been the Ramseys at the center of the investigation. There's been so many people, that have been looked over. And it is absolutely disgusting. Like, okay, they did a CBS special on how they believed it was Burke. Now, Burke is suing CBS or was suing them for $650 million. Do you think by suing, and okay, I understand that he was pissed that they were accusing him. I get that. But the thing is, though, is that why would you sue? Okay, you're being accused of murdering your little sister. That's a given. You are being accused of that crime. So why would you make yourself look more of a guilty idiot, so to speak, by suing a big company like CBS for $650 million? Do you think that's going to make the public look at you and go, yep, he's innocent? I understand why he's doing that. What's $650 million going to do? Is that somehow going to bring your sister back, Burke? Is that somehow going to make people think, yeah, you're innocent? Can't believe I actually thought for any moment in time that I thought it was Burke. Sorry if I'm being rude. Sorry, Anne B. I didn't mean to be rude if I upset you. But like I said, I just think it is disgusting how people these days, like with Kessinger, camel feces that you want to call her, she looked up book deals, and there's 10 people in chat. That's awesome. Welcome everybody. Like I said, I just find it very, very bizarre how he just didn't. No one cared at the end of the day because they saw it as, well, Burke is not guilty. Patsy's not guilty. That's fine. But why would you want to be able to put yourself through, because when he did the Dr. Phil interview, he was smiling, he was grinning, he was fidgeting. Okay, some people might find that, some people might find that a little bit strange that he, some people might find that, okay, he's done the first interview in 20 years. He hasn't been seen much out in public because, he wants to be left alone. But then he goes and gets accused of killing his little sister. Okay, I get it. You're pissed off, Burke. But then why would you put yourself more so into the limelight? No, Burke does not. I don't believe Burke has kids, no. Burke is just, don't understand why he would sue for $650 million. Like I said, money doesn't bring back a loved one that's gone. 650 million. Can you imagine how much he would have been hounded night and day if he had actually won that lawsuit? I would have, if I was a judge, I would have taken one look at that lawsuit and go, yeah, no, really, no, what, fuck no, and then left it at that. You know what I mean? And said, get out of my courtroom, get out, just get out of my Facebook. Oh, sorry, Mr. Ramsey, sir. But then you think about it, how much money did the Ramseys lose? Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. How much money did the Ramseys lose throughout this case? You got to ask yourself, okay? The Ramseys were millionaires at the time of, excuse me, at the time of Jonbenet's death. They were millionaires. But yet, hey, Mandy C, thank you. Much appreciate it. It comes down to that. Oh, well, okay. Hang on one moment. No worries, doll. I'll just give you a thumb up for that message. That is fine. But like I said, I just find it incredibly odd that for years and years and years and years and years, the attention was on John and Patsy. And then as Burke got older, he became a suspect. Well, thank you, Anne B. Please be respectful in chat to everybody in here. I'd appreciate it. And I do appreciate that you're all being polite to Mandy, so thank you. Please keep up the nice, polite nature of everything. Thank you. And yes, don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell for any future lives that I'm doing, because if you miss a live, you know, you miss a live. But if you press the bell, you should get notification for all my future lives, which I will hopefully be doing a lot of. There will be themes coming up. And so yes, we will be doing theme nights. I'll be doing like channels. I'll be doing themes where it's freedom of free speech. Excuse me. Again, excuse me. It comes down to, like I said, I'll be having freedom of free speech nights where if something is bothering you or something is annoying you, it doesn't have to be crime related in regards to what I'm talking about at that time. You want to get something off your chest, you join me on panel and basically let it rip. And I want people to know that if someone is on my panel on one of those anything goes days, I want them to know that they're up there because I want people to know that they can, like I said, when they're on panel and they're talking or they're venting, I do request that people are respectful to who's up here. And I already have one monitor keeping an eye on chat. I'm hoping that is working. I don't know. But yeah. Okay, so back to talking about yeah, the cake's a bit dry, Dave G. So, you know, that's why I'm coughing so much, because his cake is so dry. Thanks for that, Dave G. Your cake, you gave. I don't think he's in here. Sorry, Miss. Oh, he is in here. No, I will not have cake next time. Dave, you're bringing the cake, dude. Because I can't afford to bring a cake. I can't even afford to buy myself an actual cake. But what I'm getting at, yes, Van is doing a great job. Please put a nice purple heart in chat for Van to say woohoo for her, please. I'd really appreciate if you all did that. So yes. Oh, that's lovely. No one's putting. Please put a because this live stream wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for Van letting me use her live stream at this time. Oh, thank you, Archimedes girl. I wish I knew your actual name, because then I can address you as that. But obviously, if you don't want people knowing, that's all good. Yes, purple hearts for Van, please, because she's done an incredible job helping me put this live together, making the banner for me, organising what time, mind you, late last night, arranging with Amanda of what time would be best suited for her to join me on live. So I am very, very thankful to Van for all her help in that area. She went up and beyond for this live to happen. So please, purple hearts for her. Okay. This is weird. Oh, okay. Hi, Lani. So yeah. But no, sorry, I'm just yeah. I was like I said, we'll go back to the case now, which would be on hand, it would be the Jonbenet Ramsey case. The fact that people might think that, you know, Patsy killed Jonbenet because of bedwetting. People say that you know, Patsy killed her because of jealousy. But then when she passed away, it turned around and it was dead centered on no, it's a Kristen, I'm going good, centered on John and Burke. Now here's the thing I find very, very interesting, as I was going to say, is the fact that when, how can I put it? Patsy and Amanda mentioned it before. She was saying about how she felt like the kids felt, well, not Burke, but how the girls felt unsafe and all that sort of stuff. So she felt unsafe, but yet if John and Patsy and Jonbenet felt unsafe, or just Jonbenet felt unsafe, what? Okay, as we know, this is my, you know, it's pretty fucked up, because why did John not set the alarm that night? You know what I mean? I'm gonna drink. Sorry. I'm just curious as to why John didn't do it. Lee, it's or Leah, sorry, it's in the pictures, and like you, I can't describe it. I'm trying to think. It's like where you got like all the other emojis, and you scroll down, and it's got like a purple. It's got all the colors. It's even got a brown heart for NK's fugly brown bikini. So yes, but as I was saying, isn't it strange? It's very. Hang on a second. Sorry. I just think that when it, like I said, there's too much conspiracy going on in this case. There's too much that have questions that have not been answered, too many things that are not happening. And so I think that the fact that there was an interview with shortly after Burke's interview with Dr. Phil, and John Ramsey has the audacity to turn around and go, this isn't about a child that's been murdered. This is about what happened to us. This is about how we were treated by social media and how we were treated by the press. Sorry, hang on. John, you stupid SOB. This is about your daughter. This was about your daughter. This was not about you and your wife that were dragged through the mud and accused. This was about your daughter who was killed. I am sorry that you felt like you were being, you know, falsely accused of something, but you're planning on leaving the state that day when your daughter was found. You were more than happy to leave the state where your daughter would have been left alone on a metal bloody slab in the morgue over the Christmas period. Yet you were more than happy to do all of that, and then you come across many years later and have the audacity to turn to Dr. Phil and go, this wasn't about the fact that about the fact that our daughter had been murdered. This was about the way we were treated by the press and how we were treated by the paparazzi. Sorry to say this, John Ramsey, get fucked, mate. You want to have that opinion, then you didn't care about your daughter at all. Like, at all. You only care about yourself, and you clearly don't care about Burke because of the fact that you claim you're standing by him while he does this lawsuit. But hang on a second. Are you standing by him and whispering in his ear saying, you need to sue them, you need to sue them, no. Why was it just so I just get very, very angry when people come across as the victims who are not the victims. Like, she's the victim in all of this. I'm sorry, is Jonbenet Ramsey. She died for what? For her dad's sexual pleasures, or her brother being a psychotic wanker, and his parents never got him the help after he took a swing, but it was by accident with a golf club. And then used to, just you look at the photos of Burke when he's looking at Jonbenet and some of the family photos. He's looking at her. I'm glad I can make you laugh, though, if that's good. Or, that's good. And it's like, I don't understand how he can get, honestly, away with it. Suing for $650 million. Why would you need that much money in a lifetime? Unless you're planning on donating that money you got from that. How much more press, how many more excuse me, how many more interviews is Burke going to conduct? How many more? Why didn't he just stay the fuck quiet? Why didn't he just shut the fuck up, in all honesty? And he could have just kept his mouth shut. He didn't have to do that interview with Dr. Phil. Because at the end of the day, if it wasn't Dr. Phil, it would have been Oprah. And if it wasn't Oprah, it probably would have been Barbara Walters. And if it hadn't been Barbara Walters, it would have been, Martha Stewart. I nearly forgot her name there. But you know what I mean, though? Like, who had the biggest price tag to get your first exclusive interview? Burke? You remember, it's funny how you don't remember owning a pair of certain shoes, but you remember that you got a bike that year. Like, come on, Burke. Hello, tick, tick, tick. Wake up, knobhead. You would know if there was a pair of shoes that you wore quite often, you would remember. Also, the fact that you were smiling like a Cheshire cat the day of your sister's funeral. So, my question to you, Burke, is the fact that if you weren't responsible for your sister's death, why didn't you don't need to justify yourself just to me, but you need to be able to clear your name, apart from saying, oh, I'm clear because the the police department cleared my family. I'm sorry, but it doesn't work that way. You are guilty as sin. John and Burke Ramsey, you are both, in my mind, you are both guilty of something that went wrong that night. I do believe on the headphones where people say, what did you find? I do believe I hit her from behind. And instead of them saying, what did you do? Them saying to Burke, what did you do? I believe it was them, what are you going to do? And instead of saying, what did you find? Like I said, what did you find was I hit her from behind. And with them saying, what did you do? I think it's like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Because none of it makes any sense. I just don't want to offend anybody in live because, as you know, this is my channel. I swear as much as I possibly want, but this is my first time on live stream. So, yeah. Yes. Yes, well, that's true. Some people don't grieve, but, I just think that, it's very strange how not really any of them, apart from Patsy, John didn't even show any emotion towards it. Uh, thank you, Mandy. Sorry, I never called you Mindy then. Thank you, Mandy C. I appreciate that. Thank you. But like I said, like with okay, if you were say falsely accused, it was a TV show for crying out loud. Yes, they pointed the finger and say, "We hear Burke, we hear Burke," but how do we know it was Burke? And I feel bad saying this now, considering I said that he's guilty. But how do we know it was Burke on the phone? How do we know? Okay, if you get told a story enough times, you tend to believe that. All right, thanks, Anne B. Oh, thank you, Aussie True Crime Lover. That's very sweet. I will swear away. But what I'm getting at now is the fact that if you get accused of something enough times, or you get told a story enough times, and you keep getting told that story again, or better still, you're listening to a story, but then halfway through, right near the end of the story cuts off. And then you have people saying to you, "Oh, this is how it ended. This is how it ended." And you are led to believe that. And then when you go and you actually get to hear the story from start to finish without it getting cut off, your brain, because it's heard so many times how a story is meant to, or how that story is meant to end, you are hearing what you think you are hearing. There might not have been any sound on there at all. But because we've been told numerous times now by the 911 phone operator and by the people who did that CBS special, we've been told that this is what we hear. This is what we hear. But because it's what they hear, something in our own brains triggers something and thinks, okay, let's listen. And then you're automatically hearing what they think they hear. Does any of that make any sense? Because I don't know if it does to any of you guys. But like I said, if you're listening to a story, I'm not going to repeat that. But yeah, I just think it's very, very, very odd. And if Burke thinks for 1 second he was going to get $650 million and then live happily ever after, then he's a fucking idiot. Sorry. No money in the world could ever, I don't see my sister anymore. But if I had a choice to have $650 million or have her back in my life, I'll be honest with you, I'd have her back in my life, because then I've got my nephews and I'm actually richer than life because I've got them back in my life. But it's not likely to happen, so I'll probably say I'll choose the money. But at the end of the day, money doesn't buy happiness. Money just confuses things. But it comes down to that. What are your choices? Like, what would you choose? Is that okay? I'm going to ask this again. Does anyone want to come up here and join me on panel, please? Because it would be really good to be able to have someone to back and forth with, if that's okay. If there's no one, that's fine. But just say yes or no. Or if you don't say anything, that might mean you mean no. But if there's anyone that would like to come up here and talk Jonbenet Ramsey theories with me, it would be awesome. And if there's not, that's fine. I don't mind. It's all good. Is there anyone that wants to join me? Yeah, Peyton, do you want to come up? Sorry, I just coughed into the phone again. I shouldn't be doing that. Sorry. Polly Pocket. No, I haven't actually watched many documentaries or videos on Jonbenet for a while, Mandy. So I think I might have to. Okay, no worries, Peyton. I think I might have to watch a few more just so that way if I do another one of these lives about Jonbenet, I can get it. But if you can, Mandy, send it to me in Messenger. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, Mandy, do you want to come up? Do you want to talk about Jonbenet with me? You don't have to. There's no pressure at all. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so if there's anyone that does want to join me, please let me know or let Van know. Oh, shit. And she will send you a link and you can come up here. Yes, I only know. That's okay. You don't have to know a lot. That's fine. Sorry, I'm going back in my room because my hand is absolutely giving me misery and I need to cool it down. But no, that's fine, Mandy. You don't have to know a lot. It's all good. So it's all good. Whether you know a lot or a little, it does not matter. I'm happy to have anyone up here to join me because you might know something, Mandy, that I don't. It's all good in the hood. I'd be honoured to have you up here on my panel. Yay! Okay, Mandy's going to join me up here. Please be respectful in chat to her. If you are rude, you will be removed from my chat. We are here to talk about Jonbenet. We're not here to talk about other things. Wait for what do you call it? Free speech and stuff. But even then, you have to be respectful to people in my chat and whoever is up on my panel. You have to be respectful of them at all times. So please do that. Okay. It's all right, Van. Take your time, doll. But like I said, it's going to be a little bit longer on here, and it'll be good. So like I said, it doesn't matter if you know a lot or you know a little. I rather know that the people that are coming up here, to know that they can talk about whatever they want to talk about when it comes to the case that I'm discussing at the time, and then when it's Free Speech Friday or Free Speech Monday, it's like it doesn't matter what day, as long as people are happy and everything's going good. But if I see any bullying of any kind in my free speech days and people are getting attacked for no reason, then that's not going to happen. I'm not going to allow that to happen on my watch. But how is it, like I said, John always seemed like he didn't want to, like he always looked like he was a bit too huggy with Jonbenet, if that makes sense or something. He called her a sex kitten apparently at one stage. Like, you sick, deluded piece of shit. Why would you call your daughter that? Okay, whoever just wrote, the brother killed her, the parents covered it up. You're coming up as Facebook user. I am so sorry, but you are. So I do agree with that, though. I think that the parents did, and then they covered up for Burke because they didn't want to lose another child. Because you think about it, John had already lost his older daughter, which I can't remember her name. Does anybody remember John Ramsey's oldest daughter's name, the one that passed away in the car accident? We know he had Jonbenet. And yeah, don't worry, it's all good. She'll probably PM it to you, Mandy. So if you can, without being rude, just keep an eye on that. But okay. It's in between Mandy's season with the Take Your Time Van and Wow How Awful. It's in between that one, Aussie True Crime Lover. I don't know who it is. So whoever that is, if they're still in here, can you please let yourself be known to me to know who you are. So sorry, guys. I can't stop coughing. But the amount of people when I go on to like tarots and stuff, like people doing tarot readings and stuff like that, I find it very, very interesting how a lot of them I've watched is got to do like with Jonbenet and how many of them have actually set the cards. It was Burke. Very welcome to. But I do say now that you need to respect both Mandy and myself because, yeah. Okay. Because in a minute I am actually going to. Oh yeah, hang on a second. Hang on a second. So what I'm saying is that, like I said, if you want to join me and Mandy, please do. But I do request that you be respectful to both of us at any given time, because if you're not, you're gone. Hey, Mandy.
Hi, Tammie. Yeah, I always found this case very interesting. I don't know too much. I don't know too much detail, but I do know some. Like, for example, how they would let like strangers, people in the neighborhood, go through their. I guess they were very big on like Christmas and stuff, and they would let their neighbors like go in their
Yep.
house and like view their decorations and everything, and take a tour through their home. So I always thought, oh, it's a possibility that it could be somebody that was in the neighborhood that was preying on Jonbenet. But then somebody else told me, a different creator told me that later on they found out that the letter, what do you call it, the ransom letter or whatever, was
Yep.
the handwriting matched her mother's handwriting.
Exactly right. Yeah, there was characteristics that actually represented Patsy's, and in one of their photo albums there was writing in there where they questioned, do you recognize this handwriting? And her facials where she's being interrogated, she looks so freaked out, and she goes, no, not particularly, no. But it was hers,
Right.
and it matched. And some of the wording, like the word hence was written on a Christmas card of the following year, I think, after Jonbenet died, or of the year that she died, and it matched the writing in the ransom note. So
And then there was something else. Oh, so a lot of people talk about Burke's, how he smiles a lot, and I always thought that was strange. But I watched a video on Observe's channel. He's like a body language, like analysis, whatever it's called, and he said that he was trying to find the baseline, because I guess body and out they have to like find some baseline for somebody, like what they like. For example, if they answer a question that's like very like simple, like, oh, what do you like, or like anything that's like very simple that most somebody wouldn't lie about normally, and see their reaction.
yep.
And then if they respond to something that's kind of a hard question to answer, see how they react. And that guy thinks, the channel Observe thinks that his smiling was like an anxious smile. But I don't know. I always found that very suspicious. And because I never knew, since you just brought that up, that he was smiling when they were asking about his sister's death or whatever, and that the way you mentioned how he would look at her in photos, I never noticed that. So that makes me wonder even more, like, if there's something, more behind that smile that he would give her, and that look that he would give her. So I always thought he was a suspect.
Yeah. Well, because when he was getting, sorry to cut you off, because when shortly after she had passed away, Barbara Walters, who normally I have an okay opinion on, but she was talking to them, and then she goes, "You called your daughter sex kitten. Like, why would you call your daughter that? You sick fuck." Like, I'm sorry, but I personally find that quite disgusting. I'm sorry if there's people in chat and yourself that find that I'm being quite rude by thinking that of him, but like, sex kitten, like, really? That's a
Exactly.
bit disturbing.
That is very disturbing, and
Very,
to me,
very disturbing.
that's a red flag automatically. Because a long time
Exactly.
I've been contemplating like whether it was somebody in the family or if it was somebody, because people are also saying that like when they found her body, because I guess they were looking for her, and like the father brought her upstairs, or he like picked her up or something, and I could see from a parent's point of view how you could be freaking out and move the body upstairs, be like, hoping that they could help her, or even though that it was obvious that they could not, a parent's reaction to be like that. But it's just like, I don't know. It's just,
Yeah,
I
like,
can't, I can't, it's just like really, this one, I don't know. This case is very like, it's hard to figure out what's what, like who, I don't know. I can't even like put it into words. Yeah, I don't know. But like when it came to the spider web and stuff that was in the basement window, because that was broke, right? So they said, oh, well, it would have been disturbed. And that's not necessarily true, because if somebody, it depends. I mean, I saw the picture of the window, and it's like if a burglar was getting in there, sometimes if they notice that, they could, it is still a chance that they could go around it.
exactly.
And plus,
And
if
plus,
somebody,
spider webs can form within the hour.
yes, that's true. And also, like I said, how they were very big on Christmas. If somebody was in their home, they know the layout to their home. So they know just different things about the house and how to get around certain things. So I don't know. It's just really weird, the whole case.
Exactly. And the thing as well that I find very strange as well is the fact that when the Colorado police are dumbasses, and I'm sorry again if that offends anyone, but hey, I say what I mean. But they were dumbasses because the same situation, that police officer went downstairs, found a door locked and couldn't open it. So instead of telling John, "Can you come downstairs and can you unlock this?" they just ignored it until John went down, and you actually see him. I'm not sure if it's what actually happened though, because it's in the movie. He unlatches it from the top. Now, if the intruder came through the window, and sorry about the noise in the background. He went through the window and he entered the house through that door. How was he able to gain entry into the house if that house part of that door leading into that particular part of the house was locked with a latch across? And how was he able to relatch it when he was inside, escaping from from the window or to the window?
That's a good point. That doesn't make any sense. And they also didn't find any like footprints, right, outside, and it was snowing.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's,
But then they say, oh, but the paths were clear from snow that night and it didn't snow the night before. But
mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I feel like, I don't know, part of me feels like it's a really good chance that it was somebody within the household that murdered her. Um, it's just a really good chance. And then you mentioned how something about the phone call where he was like, they said like with Burke, how he said, "Oh, I hit her across." It sounded like he said that he hit her in the head, and that is very likely. I just always thought that he possibly was involved. So that's just my take on it. I don't know.
No, I appreciate your feedback on it. It's actually really good to be able to have, other people's opinion instead of everyone just having to hear mine, because I've had, Amanda up here, as in Amanda Vida. I've had you up here, and it's actually been an honor to have you up on my panel. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, for sure. You had
Thank you.
Amanda Vida up here. What was
Yes.
her take on it?
Uh, Is it safe to say there was too much? Because she was basically just telling people about the case. I didn't actually. I think she believes it was the parents as well, but I can't quite remember. There was just so much information she was giving me, and it was like, whoa. Like, I'm gonna watch the video back, and when my hands are working, I'm gonna make
Oh,
notes and stuff like that. So
does
sorry,
any?
Amanda.
Yeah,
But yeah.
no, I get it. Does anyone else want to come up and say their theory? Then, yeah, I'm not. If anyone else wants to come up, yeah, feel
Yeah,
free.
it'd be good.
Um,
Exactly. I
there's
don't
some.
bite unless you treat me or someone I care about like crap, and then I do. Ooh, gloves are
Right.
off on this channel.
Right. Yeah. There was something else that I can't remember about the case that I wanted to mention. It'll come back to me. Wow, it's crazy because now that I'm on the spot, I can't think of it.
No, that's cool. I'm gonna just probably talk a little bit about Christopher Watts and then like head off and call this one a wrap and see how we go.
Okay. Yeah. So,
All
I
right.
mean, I'm gonna get off because I'm about
Okay.
to go to bed. It's 3 a.m. here. So,
Oh, please sleep well, Darwin. Know that I'm here if you need someone to talk to at any time,
thank you.
providing I'm awake, obviously.
Thank
You're
you for letting me
welcome.
come on. All right. Good
You're
night.
very welcome. Take care. Good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye. That was Mandy C, ladies and gentlemen. She is awesome. What she's going through with all the bullshit at the moment, I won't go into it, but the fact she's still here, she shows me that she's got a fighting spirit. She's awesome. So thank you, Mandy C. Much appreciated. Now, would anyone like to come up here and talk about anything else other than Jonbenet Ramsey? We can talk about anything you want. It could be about Jonbenet, it could be about Chris Watts, it could be about me. It can be about absolutely anything. Sorry, I'm just reading some of the chats. But oh, there's 14 of you in here. Welcome to every single one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is so awesome. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining me and sticking around and, putting up with me. I appreciate it. But like I said, I'm going to mention a few things about the Chris Watts case. And then if you want to pop up and say anything, let me know. But I think that when it comes down to, hang on, what? Pageantary. Oh, would you, Amanda? I'm not sure if it's Amanda. I don't think. No, it's not. Amanda, did you want to come up here and talk about you having that theory as the pageantary? The pageants played a part in Jonbenet's murder. Would you like to come up here and talk about it? Because that is actually a theory that no one, not even myself, has actually thought of. But would you like to come up here and talk about it? So let me know, or let Van know. And for a little bit, I would really. So yes, please feel free to pop up here. I'm breaking up, am I? Okay, hang on a sec. I don't know why I'm been. Hang on. Okay, is that any better? Can you guys hear me better now? Because I think the reason it's breaking up a bit is because my phone is in fact going flat and I can't plug it in. Oh, okay, so it's better now. Wicked. So, Amanda, you're wanting to come up here or you're not wanting to come up here? I would appreciate if you did, because one is forced to come up here if they don't want to. Okay, I am going to try something. Hang on a second. Oh, hang on. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to plug in my phone. I should be telling you guys to hang on because that's quite rude of me. But like I said, I think that when it comes down to it, oh, hang on a second. So yeah, I just think that when it comes down to it, there are so many mysteries out there when it comes to true crime that I think that if we're just able to shed a light on a little bit, it would be good to know that people out there are still investigating these cases. But whether they let us continue investigating them without them thinking, oh no, they're getting closer. I don't know what to think. Because you can go down a certain road for so long and then you can be told something that can completely blindside you, and you just go back to square one thinking, now everything I actually believed in up until this point is actually being based on a lie. Okay, Amanda, some people think the pageants exposed her to pedos and what have you. Yes, I'm sorry, but I do agree with that. How do we know that it wasn't one of those horrible people? By putting her in pageants at such a young age. But like I said, Burke actually, out of the whole lot of them, Burke and Patsy are the ones that actually make me the most mad. Patsy is talking all about how, keep your kids close and, hold them close to you. There's a bad guy out there, but yet she's doing absolutely nothing to make sure that yes, because her dad did call her sex kitten. So by him calling her that, it's absolutely disgusting. That he would actually even admit to calling her that. Why would you call your daughter a sex kitten? Like, that is like, I think he should have been investigated for that. Why would you do that to someone? Why would you, not to someone, but why would you admit to that and say it's okay, me, blah, 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 blah. It's like, and then the fact that Patsy just looked at him like, it's okay, darling. I don't mind. I'm sorry, but if my husband, it's not that I have one, was to call my daughter, again, not that I have one, a sex kitten, I would want to slap the shit out of him and go, what are you thinking? Why would you call our daughter that? It's just, ugh. And the fact that the way you see them, like when Jonbenet was alive, they looked at her with such darling, caring eyes. And Burke was just basically, you're the outcast kid, bad luck. And then after Jonbenet died, there's a photo of Burke in between John and Patsy, and Burke actually looking quite happy. When you look at photos of him with Jonbenet, he doesn't look that happy. He looks actually quite like his smile doesn't reach his eyes, but yet each photo after his sister's death, they did. Have any of you actually noticed that at all? Because I've noticed it quite a bit. And like I said, the fact that he doesn't want to talk about Jonbenet, the fact that he took 20 years to come out on there. Yeah. So I think that it comes down to that. I may have another guest coming up soon, Van, so we'll find out. I don't know. Oh, far out. Like I said, I just want to understand how, like, when the people there tell Burke, draw a picture of your sister, or no, sorry, not of your sister, draw a picture of your family. And this is supposedly only a few days after Jonbenet died. He did not draw his sister, given his sister had gone. Okay, we know that. But the thing is, though, after my grandfather died, or should I say, after I lost my pet cat, I still draw pictures of my pet cat. It's weird. Yep. Yes, exactly. Linda Aunt said that she felt really uncomfortable and she got a creepy vibe. Yes. And the thing is, though, she goes that as they looked down and apparently John looked at Linda and said, "Is she dead?" And Linda responded with, "Yes, she is." And he looked up at her and she goes that when he had done that, she got the creeps and, she put her hand on her holster and drew her gun closer to her and remember silently counting, I think she said 13 or 14 bullets because she thought that, there was a chance that none of them would get out of there alive. And I hear that kind of story and I think to myself, how horrible would that be? You're in an eerie situation. You can't have you're not getting any backup. No one's coming to help you. So basically you're on your own and in the meantime people are strolling around the house like it's no big deal. People are touching things, people are cleaning up the kitchen and all that shit, cleaning up potentially a murder scene. So you got to ask yourself, what is it about that? Like, if I'm sorry, but if I look at someone, like when I first saw who was it? When I first watch 48 Hours or anything like that, I'm always looking at the people that are the real perpetrator. Like they say, this is the story of Tim Allen or Tim Jones or Tim Smith or whatever. I'll say Tim Smith. This is a story about Tim Smith, who was falsely imprisoned by people in the Florida police. They arrested him for the wrong thing. Now, the thing is, though, the first thing I'm going to do, first of all, is if I'm watching that on YouTube, I am going to do a Google image on that person. And then what I'm going to do is then I'm going to that way I can, as I'm watching the reenactment of things, I can try and use my envisionments or my visions to try and picture that particular person at the scene of the crime. And if I can't, 9 out of 10 times when I can't, that person's like not found guilty, which is weird. But lots of those 48-hour shows are all about the guilty. But no, back to the Jonbenet case. Who takes 27 minutes to write a ransom note? I don't understand that at all. And B, the housekeeper talked about Burke's strange behaviour when she worked there. I'm not saying he did it, but she brought out, yes, what she brought out was disturbing. It said that Burke Ramsey had used to crap all over Jonbenet's stuff, like have a shit. Like, you dirty little fucking shit. Yes, if anyone wants to join me, Van has actually posted the StreamYard link. So if there is anyone who would like to join me, please feel free to. I would love to have you up here and give me your theories, your thoughts. It'd be much, much appreciated. It'd be actually quite cool. It would be absolutely awesome to have, because Dave had a live and he had 12 people up on panel. Let's see if I can beat that. I've had 2 so far. So let's see if I can have a whole bunch of people up here at once, shall we? Just so that I can turn to Dave and say, hey, Dave, you know how you did that 12-hour live? Well, I did a 2-hour or a 3-hour live and I got 13 people up on panel. Ha, 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 ha. But I wouldn't do that because I'm not that kind of person that would show off in front of Dave. Thank you for all being here, like I said, and I'll keep saying thank you to all of you because it does mean a lot to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. But like I said, I just don't understand how the jury voted to convict or arrest the Ramsey parents, yet they weren't arrested. Why? Is this another case where money talks and bullshit walks? because I'm sorry, but I find it a little bit sorry. I'm going to be talking about the Chris Watts. Don't get mad, people. Please pay attention. Please bear with me when I say this. I nearly said please pay attention, but that's rude. So please bear with me when I say this, because I thought this through. How's this? In the Jonbenet case, there was a locked door that no one tried to gain entry into because it was locked. Jonbenet's was locked from a latch across the door. Now, if an intruder came in and exited that house through the basement window, how the fuck did he manage to put that latch across the door that was locked at the time when the police were there to try and gain entry into it? Please, someone tell me that, because I'm very, very curious about how they could actually put a latch across the door from the inside when the latch is outside. Yeah, my mods are allowed to go up for sure. Why'd you? Yeah, mods are allowed up here, but just for the time being, like Van just said, it's a bit difficult for her at the moment. So, is there anyone who wants to join me? Please let me know. I would be absolutely honoured as a pig in shit, so to speak, if someone would join me. But in the meantime, like I said, it's just how the locked door, Chris had the key for the one at the house, but yet his front door had the latch across it, just like the latch was across the door in the Jonbenet case. But yet the only difference is, though, is that the latch from the Jonbenet case, which I'm focusing on, was on the outside of the door. I'm sorry, but how the fuck do you latch a door from the inside when behind that door is where you're supposed to have gained entry through that door to go up and get Jonbenet, and then you were supposed to exit that way? In the meantime, not making a sound, not leaving a footprint or anything like that, supposedly, but yet you are inside that room while it is locked with a latch on the outside while you're inside. How is that even possible? Please.
Hey everyone, sorry about that. Do not know what's happening. You'll hear kids in the background. So yeah, you there, Tammie?
Yes, I'm here. I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry.
I don't either. It was like you got so passionate about it that the phone just cut out. It was like it just shut itself, literally.
Okay, so sorry.
I was like, oh shit. Anyway, all good. You right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I can't even remember what I was talking about now.
You were so passionate about it, but there is one thing there was a documentary not long ago. And I don't know how far back it was, but I think there was a guy, he was one of the investigators, or he was an investigator. He's died recently or something. And it was all about how he thought Santa. Do you know the thing about Santa? And how they linked Santa to the father.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
So, and
I
he
haven't heard
actually
of
came
that
to the
one.
house and stuff. So I want to like investigate that more. I can't remember to the life of me because I've got a blank right now, guys. But I was obsessed with this for years because I was just like, what the heck? Because I was a little girl when it all happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure. Like, recently, it was. I just looked up before. Dr. Lou, or he's passed away, and his kids are trying to. Yeah.
I'll look into that because that does sound quite
Yes.
interesting.
Yes, there was a
Definitely.
Santa whole theory. It was a theory, but it could link. And then there was other aspects of people coming out and talking about the mum and stuff, and how it was just But that's irrelevant, really. But
But
I
I'm
reckon the
just so
Santa whole
thankful
thing.
you.
Hey,
You saved my
sorry.
ass from grabbing the chat, though. Thank you.
Oh, no worries. I'm juggling. I'm juggling 4 kids, YouTube, the whole stream. I'm just like, you know what? That should
You're
get a pay
Wonder
rise.
Mum.
Oh my god.
You should. Well, nobody, as far as I know, nobody's donated to my PayPal yet, so I can't give you a pay or a pay rise. So
Yeah, some people have tried and they've had difficulty, so we're looking into it. But yeah, it's all good. But I mean,
okay, I
yeah.
wasn't aware of that. Okay,
So
all right, I'll get back to what I was being all passionate about. Now I remember what it was.
sorry, I'll leave you to it.
Okay, then. Thanks, son. Thank you, Van. You're a
Yeah.
sweetheart. See ya. Okay, back to what I was saying before I decided to cut myself off by mistake. How is it that he was able to? If I'm outside somewhere and there is a latch on the outside of the door that is preventing me from entering that room, I flip the latch, and guess what? I can get in that room. Ta-da! But if that latch is across while you are inside the room and the latch is across while you're inside the room, you can't get out unless you have someone on the outside the door that is prepared to flip open the latch. And I just find it absolutely disgusting that there are people that think that. Yes, Van is definitely a wonder mum in my eyes. From just hearing what she's doing there, I'd be so bloody exhausted. And I am sorry for leaving you all before. I really did not mean to. I'm so sorry. But yeah, like I said, I just find it so frustrating how the police are like, with the Chris Watts case, oh, what's behind you? Oh, no, it's locked. You fucking dumbass. Get him to unlock it. Duh. It's the same when it comes to the case with Jonbenet. Why was it? Oh, did you check out this door? No, what's behind this door? I don't know. Why don't you know? Oh, because it's locked. The similarities in that situation are just a bit too comfortable for my liking, and I'm sorry if I'm out of line thinking like that. No, it wasn't focused on, because it's like you go to Colorado, you get married, you have kids, and guess what? You then commit a crime and you can get away with it. It's just, ugh, it makes me so angry how stupid the Colorado police are. You know what I mean? Like, how do we know? Okay, this is going to be really a disturbing question to ask, but I will ask it. How do we know that when oh yes, Peyton and Aussie True Crime Lover are going to be my other monitors on this page. So when this live is over, we'll have like a little. But they all know what I expect. Basically, if you're representing my channel, don't go on other channels and bully people. If you're going to go and do that, please remove yourself as admin first off my page, and that would be good, because then that way it doesn't come back and bite me in the ass. How come there are so many high-profile crimes in Colorado? And B, do you live in Colorado, sweetie? I'm sorry, but the reason I'm asking that, okay, does anyone that's in here live in Colorado? because I do not want to offend anybody with me answering Anne B's question. How Tammie runs her channel. What? Oh, thank you, Mandy. Much appreciated, doll. Okay, so I was just thinking, what? How Tammie runs her channel, and then I realised I've got to add what you wrote above. Okay, so no one in here lives in Colorado. Like I said, I do not want to offend anyone's hometown. I don't want to. Yes, thank you. That's exactly no. Okay, cool. Oh, there's another Aussie in here. Lee Bryson is in Melbourne. Awesome. That is so cool. I'm based in Adelaide, Australia. Okay. Now, the reason I'm saying this about, hang on, sorry. I see it as, hang on, I'm going to make sure no one else, okay. That's awesome, Mandy. I'm so glad about that because I said I don't want to offend anyone at all. So I would say this. If you want to commit a crime, hang on, sorry, I've got to make sure I'm not offending anyone. And B, all you have to do, sweetie, is just keep an eye on chat. And if you see people that are bullying somebody, you put them in timeout. If you see that they're being disrespectful after putting them in timeout for 300 seconds or whatever it is, and they're still being rude, then you block them. And then they won't be able to come back on my channel. But that's at your discretion, obviously. All right, cool. So, because it comes down to that if you're, Van, I want you to make Mandy C a mod as well on my YouTube page because I want her to feel like she actually has power on this channel, that if anyone comes in here that has caused her any grief, she can remove them. So I'd appreciate if you could, just for my YouTube channel, if that's okay. And if Mandy C wants the responsibility, that is obviously. I just want her to know that I'm here to protect her from evil skanks out there. And I'm not going to take that back or apologise for it because I see it as that she has been a target of that and I'm not putting up with that on my channel. So, yeah, well, I just want you to feel safe on my channel, Mandy C, where you come up, if you come up on panel when I'm doing the anything goes and you want to be able to talk about something that's, if it's bothering you, I want you to feel as though that even if you're up on panel with me and you see something in chat that you are personally offended by, time them out. It's simple as that. Oh, Cleopatra, my mother was from Sydney. I've never seen it yet, but I would love to. Well, you want to hear something really sad? I've only ever been to Melbourne and like Victoria, Ballarat, Ararat, Lorne, and all those sorts of places in Victoria. I've only ever been, as I say, to Melbourne, and I'm 38. Very, 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 very sad. But in 12 days, it will be my 39th birthday. So, yeah. So, as I was saying, Van, if you like, I can ask Dave when I speak to him next, Seeking the Truth with Dave, how if PayPal's not working for certain people and stuff, I'll mention it and ask him to teach me how it worked and all that crap. Yeah, big red, like I said, purple hearts for purple or pink. Hang on, I retract that. Pink hearts for Van because she has a massive, beautiful heart. I really do appreciate what she does. So yes, pink hearts in chat for Van, please. Thank you, Anne B. That's very sweet. Thank you, darling. Yes, I'm going to be, pink hearts for Van, please. I'm going to basically be 39. I feel old. Oh, hello, short note, Carrie. What do you mean, bloody phone, Tammie? What? What's wrong? Is it my... No, I have my air cooler on because my hands are hurting, so I have no real choice. So I need that on so then I can actually be still on here. But back to what I was saying about the Chris Watts and the Jonbenet Ramsey similarities. Both girls were blonde. You go to North Carolina, you basically commit a crime, then play as dumb as a stump, right? Thank you, Ozzy, and thank you, Anne. That's very sweet. Thank you, Lee. Thank you. Is it Lee or Leah? I just want to make sure I'm getting your name right, Miss Bryson. Or Mrs. Bryson, sorry. And like I said, it comes down to that, what was I going to say? The similarities are uncanny. The dad is as dumb as a stump. I'm not a baby. I'm 39. Like, no, it's not my... Cleopatra, it's not my birthday to the 5th of June. But thank you. I might even do a live on my birthday, you know. I try and be funny. I says if I can make people laugh when they're feeling upset, that's not me trying to push aside that they're feeling bad or anything like that, or trying to be an NK by not caring about your feelings. It's just most of the time when I'm on other people's lives outside of Dave's, I just did what? Yes, I did it, Catherine Clappin. Yes, I am still doing that live, in fact. Yes, I'm very without Van's help I wouldn't be here at the moment doing this, so no Aussie crime or is you true crime lover. You are very young at heart and I adore you, you know that. Yes, Dave is awesome and he's the only Aussie I think that I'm just trying to think. I haven't been on Bartwan's channel. So if anyone in here knows to get a hold of Bartwan, please let him know that I want him in here to do a live with me in a couple of weeks about the Beaumont children. And I'll be joined by a few other guests, such as Van, hopefully. And yes. I actually feel very privileged to be able to do these cases that I want to do. Yes, Bartwan is awesome, and Bartwan will actually keep me calm, I think. Bad wands. Bat. Never mind, I knew what you meant, Bartwan. Yes, so I will be hopefully having him in here discussing the Beaumont children with me and Van, and maybe I'll be joined by Lani as well. That's if she's up to it. If not, then not. But we'll see what happens. Judging by your picture, Cleopatra, you're not ancient. All right. So yeah. So I'll have Van and Bartwan and myself on here. Then, like I said, probably in about a week or two, discussing a Aussie true crime that has yet to be solved. There is a few conspiracies around that, but we shall see how we go. But oh man, what am I doing? Hang on. Oh, that's okay. Sorry, I was thinking if there's someone there, I'm gonna look like a dick if I've been sitting here this whole time reading chat, and in the meantime, there's someone on panel that Van didn't tell me about. Yes, I think it would be quite good to do that. I'm not sure. Like I said, there are going to be a few Aussie cases that we're going to go over. It's going to be great. I've got a few people up here that, like, not up here, but a few people that I want to bring up with me when I talk about the cases. And it's going to be really, really, really cool. So, Van, should I mention what cases some of the cases we should be talking about, or should I just wait? I'm just asking what she thinks, because then that way we know what we're doing, and that way you can all. I haven't set the dates for which these cases are actually going to be talked about, but I know that I'm going to probably give it another week or two before I discuss some Aussie crimes. It'll be good. So then people overseas in America or Asia, wherever. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Mandy C. That's really sweet. Thank you. Yes, Aussie true crime lover. Yes, those ones will be discussed, which is Ivan Milat. Yes, Ivan Milat is a sicko. How they think that he now, after all these years, but after he's died, they now come out with that he didn't work alone. One of his brothers must have helped him. And Anita Cobby, yes, I think that we'll be talking about those. But if you do, like Vance mentioned in chat, if there are cases that you'd like to hear my point of views about, please, by all means. Yes, and B, yes, it is based on Ivan Milat. It's a very disturbing story. Wolf Creek is, yes. But like I was saying before, if there are any cases that you would like to hear me cover, yes, I'll look into that one, Catherine. What comment are you talking about, Mandy? Which comment, doll? I don't know which comment you're referring to, doll. At all. So you might want to elaborate. If you want, you can text it to me. I don't know which comment you're talking about. Oh, the one that was on my... Yeah, okay. It's okay. Mandy, if it's the comment I'm thinking of, you are more than forgiven. You were let down. Yes, no, you are forgiven, honey. Don't keep apologizing. You are forgiven. It's fine. Okay, you were given information by someone you thought you could trust. And, that's fine. You were misled. So don't apologize anymore. It's fine. I see it as that. It's like you keep apologizing. It's just like you don't need to. I think that if we want to discuss that situation, I think we leave that for how does this sound? Free Speech Tuesday. And then we'll have that, I'd say, roughly around about probably maybe the same time. Maybe see how we go. And then if anyone that wants to talk about anything in particular, you can come up and talk about anything you want. And I mean anything. Just not sexual stuff. That's where I would actually have to draw the line, believe it or not. Like, I don't want to hear people going, my partner won't do me. He won't get it up. Try Viagra. Try horny goatweed. Try. No, I'm not going to go there, because then that's actually an insult to NK, because I was going to say try being attractive, but that's really quite mean. And I do apologise if anyone took offence to that. But no, back to the Jonbenet stuff. I'm getting sidetracked, guys. The fact that Burke apparently owned a pair of high-tech boots, but they were never, ever found. Now, the question I'm curious about is, what size shoe did Burke wear in comparison to what size shoe did John wear? Did John set up that guy that was that blonde guy who was found dead shortly after Jonbenet was murdered? Because it just strikes me as odd that in all of the databases in all of the world or so, how is it that there's that after all these years there's still not a hit? How is that even possible? How can there not be a hit at all on the DNA that they supposedly found in oh, thank you, NB, thank you. How is it they're not able to find anyone? How's that? I'm sorry, but how's that even fucking possible? I don't get how there can be an FBI database from everywhere in the world, all right? Apart from Australia, because I don't think we have FBI. But what I'm saying is, it's a worldwide web. You put those DNA things, samples, into this machine. They shake it up like a freaking like a milkshake or whatever. But that's what I'm getting at. There's DNA they have is from someone who's not in their system. How's that even possible? You can't tell me, okay, now I might be wrong in saying it as blunt as this, and again, I am going to apologize if I am rude by saying it like this. But once you get the taste of a kill, you don't just then go, oh, well, I killed a little girl and I liked it, but, just in case they still have my DNA on file, I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to commit a single crime. I'm not going to have a speeding ticket. I'm not going to, drive off from a petrol station and not pay. It's like you would have to watch yourself every single second of every single minute of every single hour of every single day of every single week of every single month of every single year for the rest of your life, knowing that one simple little fuck up can have you in jail, not just for, say, a month because you haven't paid a speeding ticket. This could potentially have you in jail for murder for the rest of your life if you commit a simple crime. And I'm sorry, but it strikes me as the person who killed, I didn't say killed Sinead, I'm going so good. The person who killed Jonbenet isn't the kind of person that would just do one crime and then be like, I'm done with it. I've committed my crime. I don't see it as that I want to commit another crime. I don't believe that for 1 second. Yes, Cleopatra, I agree with you. Because like I said, when I think it was when Mandy was up here, as well as Amanda, as well as Mandy, that it just didn't make any sense how when they did the phone call analysis, like I said, if you listen to something enough and you're told enough times what they hear, you are tricked into believing that your brain automatically registers what they hear, not what you hear. Like if you watch that documentary again and you take away all of what they say, everything like that, and you really, excuse me, and you really, or you better still, you go on YouTube and you listen to that 911 call that Patsy made that morning of December 26, 1996. Okay, you listen to that, you forget every single thing you have heard up until that point about that said phone call, right? You ignore everything. Tell me exactly what it is. Like I said, what do you hear? I know what I hear, and it's definitely not what they hear at all. So I don't know what's going on. I don't believe that for 1 second. I don't believe it was the manufacturer's DNA at all. Sorry, but I don't buy that for a second. That has got to be the most stupidest thing that the DA police came out with. Sorry, but that's what I think. Mm.
I'm not saying your idea, your thing of thinking like that, Cleopatra, is stupid. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying for them to think that. Okay, what do I hear on the phone call? I hear, what instead of what did you find? I hear her from behind, and instead of them saying what did you do, I hear what are you going to do? But he was clear. But the thing is that makes me angry when I hear about how people were cleared because of the DNA. Okay, for starters, you haven't checked all of the DNA. It could have very well been the Santa Claus van. It could have been very well easily could have been him. Because if I look at all the evidence now, I can guarantee you I would still find that garrote, whatever you want to call it, that horrible thing that choked Jonbenet. I could guarantee you that they haven't taken that apart yet. Yeah, I appreciate that, Cleopatra. Thank you, sweetie. Okay, Aussie True Crime Lover heard what did you find? Now, did you hear that before they analysed it on that TV show, Aussie? Or did you hear that as they announced this is what we hear? So what I'm saying is when you first heard the first 911 call, did you okay. I watched one of AD's programs and there was a woman who named the guy and apparently he was John's illegitimate son. Short note, Kerry, if you're able to find that video at any time, can you please message it to me? So I'd actually really like to see that. That'd be interesting. Exactly. Burke was advanced in tying knots from scouts groups he was in. Exactly right, Amby. Exactly. Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. That is actually really, well put. Okay. But like I said, I just find it very, very, very odd. I don't know what's going on because there are just too many people in here to. Hmm? I just find oh wow, 16 people in here. Thank you. Thank you. But like I said, yeah, that's what I'm saying, Aussie True Crime Lover. Like I'm not criticizing you, so please don't think I am, hun, because I'm not. But that's what I'm saying is the fact that we all heard, and myself included, when I saw that documentary that was on CBS, that good old, Burke is suing him for, because, if you think about it, if you try and get rid of all your thoughts out of your head in regards to that documentary, and you forget what you think you hear because it's what they have. Hey, Nikki Rex. Aww. Thank you, Nikki Rex. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. But like I said, I just find it odd. I don't understand how, I don't hear what everyone else hears apparently. So, I don't know how to do that. Hang on a second. But yeah. Yes. So, as I was saying, I just find it, I did not hear, sorry, my arm's just gone a bit weird. I don't understand how. Yes, but I do understand actually, but I don't. It's interesting how even with captions, it doesn't pick up. And that's cool. But when you hear that, it's funny how quick that was made public of that. John then automatically somehow becomes like a father and becomes protective of Burke. He does not care about Burke at all. All right. People are like, oh yes, he does, because he told his son to go to leave the house that morning. You know, he didn't want his kid around. Yeah, that's fine. What was I saying? Hang on. I just find sorry. But like I said, if you hadn't okay, true crime, Aussie love it. This is a question for you, doll. If you hadn't seen that documentary, all right, pretend you hadn't seen it. Did you hear anything on the tape when Patsy supposedly didn't hang up? Did you hear anything before they actually said, this is what I hear? Because like I said, your subconscious is is basically being coerced into thinking something that you probably, like I said, didn't hear before. And I just want to know that all it comes down to the fact that I think that because when you, like I said, when you hear something enough times, you want to believe it. So from what I gather anyway, is that your subconscious grasps onto that and grabs onto that because they think that that's what they hear. That's why Chinese Whispers is such a stupid game. Yes. Yes. I won't ask what you think because clearly I've missed a lot. Oh, it's okay. I can just tell you, I think that the parents are covering for Burke. That's the best way to. That's the shortest version I can give you, Nikki Rex, as to what my thoughts are. I think that that Burke killed Jonbenet. They didn't want to lose another child, so they protected Burke by doing a cover up. Thank you, Cleopatra. Garbled. Okay, Cleopatra, what does garbled mean? Sorry, I'm not sure what that means. So, like I said, you know, if you get told, for example, if you get told that your partner tells you that they love you, okay, you're like, okay, cool, cheers, thanks. But after they say it quite a few times, you are standing there or sitting there, and you're thinking to yourself, when they're doing something for you that you didn't even have to ask them to do, but they're just doing it anyway. And you look over at them and you think, fucking hell, I love them. Because they're always telling me how much I mean to them. They're always telling me this, they're always telling me that. This is where it comes into play. It's the fact that if you get told something enough times, you're more than likely to believe it. You know what I mean? Like I'll be honest with you, from about the fourth time I heard that phone call, I believe I heard what I said I heard. So, oh, wicked, Nikki Rex, we have the same opinion. Awesome. I love when I can have the same opinion as people halfway across the other side of the world. I think it's actually really quiet. Well, for me, it's actually an honor to have someone else's opinion that's the same as mine, I have to admit. But yes. How many people are in here now, Van? Hey, Save Robbie. Hey, going, sweetie. Oh, this is so cool. I have like really cool people coming in. It's great. I had Seeking the Truth with Dave in here before. I had Amanda's Vida up here with me. I had Mandy C up here with me. Seeking the Truth with Dave was in chat, and now I have Save Robbie in chat. So I feel very, very, very privileged, especially and for the first time the other night, unfortunately, the panel kept on dropping out with no fault of anyone's, but I finally got to speak to Save Robbie, and I was as nervous as anything. I felt like a bitch on prom night, even though that's never going to happen with us, Robbie. So, calm your farm. But no, I felt so nervous. I thought, if I say something that he's not going to like, is he going to hate the thought of ever talking to me if I ever appear in his chats, or is he going to block me or anything like that? But he didn't take offense to anything, because Robbie, along with Seeking the Truth with Dave, they're two people that will allow you to have your opinion if it's different from theirs, yes, but only to a limit, where if you respect their channel, you will be able to have that right to have that opinion. But if you start, say, having that opinion and then just running with it and being, quite I don't know, but like Robbie has a very, very long fuse, and then it gets shorter and shorter as time goes on. But I think that when it comes to his channel, I'm sorry if I'm wrong with this, Robbie, he will allow, like I said, he'll allow you to have an opinion. And if it's really, really quite offensive, he will allow you to have it for, say, not repeating in that live every 5 minutes, but he'll allow you to have it for that live. But then if you bring it into the next live that he's doing, he'll basically, don't be mean. Exactly. But what I'm saying is, if he was to say, if someone was to go in there one time and say, oh, you poofed her or something like that, which I don't condone at all. I get, like, when I'm out and about with my brother, I find when people call him that, or they call me a fag hag, I'm like, oh, okay. But then after a while, yes, Save Robbie's the only one that yells at his channel, so is Dave. But then when but like I said, I will not condone any hate crimes in my channel at all. But back to what I was saying. No worries, Van. It's all good. Relax. But yes, I will protect people. Aww. Well, I'm always here for you, Save Robbie, if you ever need someone to talk to. I'm always a text message and messenger away, or a click of a button to call. I'm always that away if you ever need someone to talk to, doll. Yeah, it comes down to, like I said, when it comes to Jonbenet, I think it's very sad that the case hasn't been solved yet. I think that it should be solved. I think with all the evidence against, John Ramsey in particular and Burke Ramsey, I think they should always. Oh, thank you, Robbie. You're a sweetie. I think it comes down to the fact that it's been 20 plus years and nobody knows what happened that day. There was, as far as I know, like the same with the Chris Watts case. They they were prepared to open up the house on the same day that Jonbenet's body was found inside that house. Whereas in the Chris Watts case, they were also prepared to open up that house and give it back to him the night he was arrested and charged with one count of murder. But like I said, I don't understand why it must be difficult to do this. Oh, well, I see how it is, Peyton. No worries. And I made you admin of my page. What was I thinking? Robbie's a sweetie. Robbie's always been nice to me, so I'll always be nice to him. He's my favourite little man. He's younger than me, so get this though. We are born in the same year, so like if someone comes out and wants to call Robbie a bitch or me a bitch, we'll be like, "You got it, girl. We're born in the year of the Chinese dog, so bring it on." Uh, oh, sweet. Aussie true crime lover has been given a wrench, so all be nice. So be on your best behavior. Mama's in town. Like I said, there are so many similarities between them. The only difference between Ramsey's when he was two, that's something they don't have in common. The fact that he had two girls where Jonbenet only had one, but they had two kids living at home. And they had two kids living at home. Patsy was basically like a socialite because of the fact that, what do you call it? Hang on. Yeah. But like I said, I just find it odd. Like I said, there were two kids at home when the Watts family disappeared. And then also that, excuse me, that, what's I going to say? Sorry, guys. Yeah, there were two people left at home and the Ramsey family, and there was two people that were taken out from the house at, what do you call it? There. Two left behind in the Ramsey house, but technically two, and then two removed from the house from the Watts family. And like I said, John Ramsey at that time probably had too much of a limp dick to be able to, please any other woman. So he basically had to put up with Patsy. Not that Patsy was ugly, but she was no prize. Okay, well, I'm thinking that I want to bring someone else up here, but I'm not sure. Does anyone else want to come up here and talk about Jonbenet Ramsey at all? Because if anyone wants to come up and talk about it, they can. I'm not going to say yes. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. I don't know what else to call John but limp dick. But I'm actually going to call this one this live an end. I'm sorry, guys, but I've been up here for like 2 hours and 33 minutes, and I need to start my dinner. Hopefully, I can. But I will do another on Tuesday if Van or anyone wants to help me organise that. It would basically be Free Speech Tuesday. And we will talk more about other things, like I said. And I would like to be able to hear Sweet Dreams, Cleopatra. Yes, that's right. The good old Aussie saying, limp dick. But yes, I appreciate every single one of you that stuck around, regardless of what time it is where you are. Thank you a million times over. You guys are incredible. Thank you for popping in, Save Robbie. If I don't speak to you before you leave, thank you again for popping in, and safe travels, my dear. And B, thank you so much for being in here. Aussie True Crime Lover, thank you so much for being in here. Peyton, thanks for being in here. Van, I can't thank you enough for all your help today. You One in a trillion, love. Thank you so much. Nikki Rex, thank you so much for being in here. Short note, Kerry. Yes, I'll do Madeline. Yes. Thank you so much for being in here as well. Lee Bryson, I'm not sure if you're still in here, but thank you for coming in here. Peyton, thank you for being here. Yes, Cleopatra, like I said, sleep well. Short note, Kerry. Sweet dreams, sweetheart. Who else is in here? I don't know who else is in here. Oh, this is so bad. I don't know who else is in here. I'm talking American now, and I don't know why. Yes, but yes. So, yes, and B, Nikki Rex, all those people that I've said before. But yes, thank you. Oh, yep. But that's all I could go up to. Sorry, guys. But thank you. Like I said, thank you so much for being in here. And I will say good night. Night. Mwah.